All right. Deep breath time, Ruby.
Uh, it's not that big. Okay, I'm in.
All right. So the reason why we're having this podcast this week without a guest is because we wanted to give ourselves some time to have a discussion about an article that our friend Justin Lowe wrote in the Richmond Times-Dispatch, pointing out that Richmond, in surrounding counties, has not had a James Beard nominated chef in a couple of years now. Now there was a time in the recent history where at least one, sometimes more than one chef would get nominated for a James Beard Award, which, if you're listening to this podcast, is sort of like the Oscars of the food world. It's one of the highest honors you can receive. Recent nominees have included Rainey Anderson, Lee Gregory, Sonny over at Leisure, Dale Reitzer. Those are just some of the names.
Everman Evine over at Sabrosa. Yeah, I mean we've definitely had our fair share of
Yes, honorees, but recently hasn't been the case. In Justin's article, he points out a couple of reasons why he thinks that might be. Let's see. Those reasons include like regional biases, not having enough people from Richmond or Virginia on these committees that choose the winners, going up against restaurants in bigger cities like Washington and Philadelphia, and the lack of local media to, I guess, tell the stories of our local chefs and restaurateurs. Now,
First of all, he doesn't point out lack of local media. He points out the fact that we've lacked in national media.
okay.
And I think that that's categorically, like, if you were to look at the last couple, I think we've received some national media. I think we've received similar national media that we received before. Has it been as much? That's a really tough call to make, right? I will say this. Had he pointed out the lack of local media, I would have to agree with them.
Okay.
There is one full-time writer in the food industry here in Richmond, and that's Eileen Mellon. The remainder of the individuals, including myself, Scott, we are all part-time. So that's Megan Marcognac, that's Justin Lowe, that's Mary Scott Hardaway, that's Deb Freeman, that is, Colleen Coran is full-time over at the RTD, but she doesn't just cover food.
Sure.
We have two individuals, Stephanie Gans, she's national and local media at Richmond Magazine. We do not have a ton. We have one full-time food person. Now, I hear through the grapevine that that's going to change here shortly, and we may have an additional individual who's going to cover some food in another local space. But before, we had Carrie Pfeiffer. We had somebody full-time at Style Weekly doing food editing. We had a myriad number of individuals reviewing the food here, which I think is a huge deal. I think if there's no checks and balances, that obviously, how do we get someone to come down here and look at the restaurants if we aren't even noticing them here in Richmond? Anyway, I'm getting deep in the weeds.
Yeah, no. So I have a series of questions I want to ask you about this because, again, if you're listening to this podcast, you already know, but just to state the obvious, Robey has been a food journalist in this city for a very long time and has an inside understanding of the James Beard process through her experiences covering restaurants over the years. So my first question to you is, can you explain to me the criteria that James Beard uses to consider who gets nominated for these awards?
So it changed in the last couple of years. So there was probably some biases, or they identified. So in the last couple of years, that it's changed in the last couple of years. So in 2020 and first they didn't do it in 2020. They then had their feet over at the JB Foundation, held to the fire based on what they have, like, people have decided were inherent biases, and there were. And so they changed how you're going to be able to, or how the recommendations and processes and procedures are like actually done. And let me tell you exactly what that is. So each category has a specific set of rules that or guidelines they have to follow. So if you're up for best new chef in a particular region or city, you have to, like, let's say, have been that chef in that particular restaurant for 3 consecutive years. So there are like multiple things that look like that. I could go through all the categories, Scott, but it's pretty easy to find on the James Beard website as to what the nominations have to have for a particular category.
Okay. So the big ones we're talking about, I'm assuming, I read Justin's article, but it was a couple of days ago, is the best chef Mid-Atlantic. That's pretty much what we're talking about here. That's right. What Lee and Brittany and Sonny, that's what they were all nominated for over the years.
So the qualifications for best chef Mid-Atlantic, hold on. The candidate may be from any kind of dining establishment, but has to be working as a chef in the region for at least 3 years. They can be a pair to be understood as equal partners. They have to have set a high standard in their culinary skills. They have to have leadership abilities. They have to be making an effort to create a sustainable work culture in their respective region, in their respective region. And then they also have to be contributing positively to the community around them. So there needs to be some sort of community service impact. There needs to be some sort of team impact that they have. There needs to be some sort of community involvement. So all that is what it looks like.
And so that seems, some of those things seem pretty subjective, right?
Of course.
So how does one, let's just pick a name, David Shannon. He's been nominated in the past, runs one of the best restaurants in Richmond, La Possum. He's been nominated one time in his career, I believe. But I want to nominate David Shannon. How does that process work?
So the really cool thing is that you can, Scott, nominate David Shannon. There is an open call for nominations at the beginning of the James Beard award-winning period, in which the public, you, Scott, me, Robey, or even David Shannon can get on the James Beard nomination website and nominate their restaurant or the restaurant of your choosing. Inside that nomination, if you choose to do so, there is a space where you can say, this is where I think that this person has been doing this. This is his broad impact on the community. This is what I think from a sustainability standpoint. This is how I think that he treats his employees, so forth and so on. You can be as prolific or as pithy as you want.
So do you think that it's a case of Richmond not supporting Richmond, not nominating its own, or do you think it's a case of our restaurateurs and chefs being nominated but not being recognized by those who are receiving the nominations?
So the individuals that run the specific Mid-Atlantic region, there are 2 of them right now that run the full, there's heads of the committee and then subcommittees. Those 2 individuals are responsible for lots of people. I just want to make sure that I say that out loud. So Aaron Tucker and Craig Laban were this year. And they're not the only individuals that have anything to do with this process. There is a laundry list of individuals that are tasting, are nominating, are discussing on multiple calls, so many Zoom calls, Scott, all sorts of restaurants. On top of those individuals whose job it is to, similar to mine, sit in the specific region or city or however it is and are part of food, the public nominates the restaurants. And you asked me, do you think it's a combination of us not having enough nominations and us not nominating enough people? It's definitely both. Because I can't know, as a person, all of the restaurants that are in a large city, right? It's just not something I, Robey, who may or may not have been on a James Beard committee, can know. So unless Richmond starts calling out their own and says, hey, David Shannon really does deserve a look, maybe you haven't heard of David Shannon, then it's a possibility that might not ever happen.
So does that name go to someone in Richmond to check out, or does that name go to someone in DC or Philadelphia who then takes the train down to Richmond and checks it out?
So it goes in, well, first it goes in a massive spreadsheet. And then that spreadsheet gets delineated down to a bunch of smaller things, like, is David Shannon a best chef, or is David Shannon an outstanding new chef, right? Like, how long has he been in his restaurant? What is the criteria that he might be fitting into? Did someone nominate him in the wrong place? Does he have an outstanding one program? And then that makes it to, once that gets narrowed down, so let's say we've decided that Joe Smith of Joe Smith's Bar and Grill has only been open for 2 years. So therefore, he's not able to be part of the qualification. Thanks for nominating. He gets moved out of that spreadsheet because he doesn't fit into the criteria. So once that comes down to a smaller band, then there is a large group of people that starts to go and see what those restaurants taste like, what the service is like, whether or not they fit in a whole nother place that then gets talked about again by a large group of people. And when I say gets talked about, there are daily Zoom calls to discuss the restaurants that have been nominated, whether it be in Richmond. So everybody is responsible for the Mid-Atlantic region that's on all those committees. So Craig Laban, who has Delaware, Pennsylvania, whatever it is, could feasibly, and maybe he did, come down to Richmond and eat at these restaurants
as like a secret diner. Like he's not announcing himself.
He's not announcing himself.
Is Craig someone who would be recognized by a chef if he walked in, or is he?
I mean, he has won James Beard himself.
So yes.
Media, you would think so. I mean, feasibly, Robey Martin could go up to DC and try those restaurants, right? Like, I mean, I'm highly doubtful people would recognize me in DC, but still, that is what happens. So it isn't just Scott Wise on the James Beard Committee eating at the restaurants that are in Richmond. It's actually rarely Scott Wise talking about Richmond food, eating at Richmond restaurants. So having someone who represents Richmond as a region on the committee is definitely helpful, right? Sure. But it's highly, or at least, I don't want to say highly unlikely. It's unlikely that person is going to be the individual who will be responsible for what the final outcome is.
So in theory, we have foodies listening to this podcast, and foodies who want to see the Richmond food scene well represented in the James Beard Award contest. So the call to action would be, when the times to nominate your favorite chef or restaurant come around, do so.
And if you own a restaurant that you're passionate about, people, chefs, restaurateurs, I beg of you, nominate your own restaurant. I mean, it can't hurt. Like, that's just it. Like, it can't. If you love La Possum, I love La Possum, shove them in the nominations. It's important that we are proud of where we are.
Let's talk about some of the other points Justin brings up in his article. And again, you invited Justin to be on the podcast to talk about his article, and he politely declined and said he kind of put his statement out and he wants other people to kind of talk about this issue.
Yeah, and I'm sure as a lawyer for the government, he's not busy at all, Scott. So,
come on, Justin.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm sure that poor guy. I mean, come on.
Whatever, Justin. Anyway, so one of the points you brought up was that how Richmond is obviously part of Virginia, and Virginia is part of the Mid-Atlantic region, which includes larger cities like DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and not perhaps where we feel more akin to the southern states, North Carolina, South Carolina. Not to take anything away from, obviously, the restaurants in the South, but is there anything to that? Is there anything to how Richmond restaurants are put up against big city restaurants, like I mentioned before, and not against perhaps medium or smaller size cities that we find in the South?
Well, I mean, that's like, I don't really know. I mean, everybody in any of these categories, Northeast, Southeast, I mean, the entire state of New York could get irritated that they're put up against New York City. Like, I understand the reasoning behind that, but where do you draw the line? Like, how does that work, right? I will say that is it might not be a flaw of the James Beard Foundation, but it certainly is a hurdle that's hard to overcome. Like recently, I was in Chicago and went to an outskirt, like an area outside of Chicago, and had an incredibly good meal. And I've had a conversation, I'll just say it. I had a conversation with someone who sits on the James Beard Committee. This was 2 years ago, about this specific restaurant because it was so good. And it's hard for me, this person, and one other person to consistently push the small restaurants forward if we don't have we'll go back to what we just said, Scott, if we don't have the help from the public that sits in that area.
That makes sense. What does the James Beard nomination / award mean to a restaurant or a community? Like, what do you think tangibly?
So I think that I do. I don't know about you, but when I go somewhere, I consistently check to see if there was a James Beard Award winner, because I am assuming that and there has been a lot of talk about the James Beard Foundation and what they do and do not do. I choose to believe that if I'm doing my due diligence and did my due diligence, that hopefully everybody else that sits on a James Beard committee also is. That is what my assumption is. I think that it's been vet for being good for the community, sustainable, wonderful service, great food, and that if I'm looking as a tourist, then somebody else is looking there too.
Now, one of the things, you and I are both from the area. We've both been here most, if not all of our lives. There was Hey, watch it. There was a period of time where Richmond was the up and coming, Southern dining destination, the best kept secret in the South. All these restaurants, the Churchill area. I think Justin mentions it in his article. The Sub Rosas and the Roosevelt and the Dutch and companies, and how that kind of like bubbled up this culture. But at some point, like, the best up and coming city just becomes a city. It's not up and coming anymore. Who crafts that narrative that Richmond is an up and coming food city or a charming Southern city? Or like, I'm guessing that plays some role into their recognition. How does that happen?
So you're not going to like this answer, but it is always the local media. Always. It goes so far that even in some places, Carrie Pfeiffer would tell you this, Eileen will tell you this, Justin will tell you this, that sometimes we see our own words redone in national media. It is always the local media. So it's either us that crafts the narrative and people start to read it, or it's pay to play. And that's how the narrative gets. A lot of individuals don't realize that Southern Living has some pay to play action. Other magazines also do. So it's PR or pay to play or the local media, in my opinion, that crafts the narrative, Scott.
And so what role ultimately does that play in these national awards to our chefs and restaurants?
Oh, I'm sure there is a piece of that, right? I mean, I didn't see it. But I, Robey, am not pay to play, and neither are you. So I won't see it. But I'm sure, they're sponsored by, like, just recently in the 2024 James Beard was live streamed on Eater. And some of Vox Media, who is also Eater, that writes for Eater. So Vox Media owns Eater. Some of Vox Media's writers are on the James Beard committees. So there has to be some interweaving there. What that looks like, I don't know.
So for the record, if someone wants to pay, I will play.
No, you will not.
I'm ready to play, Robey.
No, you will not.
I've been
But you understand where I'm going. I think there's a bunch of stuff that, yeah.
Of course. Still, Scott_Wise on Instagram. Let's play. No, I'm kidding.
Hold on, I've got a question for you because I feel like this is like what, as someone who has been doing this for 5 years, so I'm going to call you relatively new to the Richmond food scene or the food scene in general, but likes to eat. Like, what are your takeaways from the James Beard?
For me, I mean, I know a lot of these individuals now personally, having interviewed them and visited their restaurants more often. So I just like to be excited for I'll just call them friends, my friends in the restaurant community. I like to see them being honored. I know they work very hard, and I know there's not a lot of reward on the other end. So to see their names in lights, I think it's pretty cool. When people come in from out of town, as you mentioned, you said when you go to other cities, you look and see who the James Beard Award nominees or winners are. Conversely, when people come visit me, I'll take them to a restaurant and say, hey, by the way, I'm taking you to this restaurant. This individual was nominated for best chef. They won best bakery, whatever the case may be. So it's just pride. It's local pride, community pride, like the grocery store used to be.
And I really think that's at the crux of Justin Lowe's article. I think that he feels in a strong connection to his community restaurant pride. And I think he'd like to see us being recognized for the restaurateurs and their hard work. And I don't want to discount that, Scott. I think that it's a beautiful thing. You want a food writer that's committed to your industry.
I just have a couple more questions on this topic. And if you're listening to this and you have a question about the James Beard Award or anything we've been talking about, there's a couple of ways to reach us. At Eat It Virginia on Instagram, direct message is probably the best. We also have a Gmail account, eatitvirginia@gmail.com. Robey, I don't think no individuals have been nominated since the pandemic. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Is there a reason, other than the fact that the pandemic totally wreaked havoc on the restaurant industry, which obviously is not a laughing matter or anything we can take lightly, is there a reason? Because everybody kind of was in the same boat across the country to a degree. Is there a reason why you think that a Richmond chef has not been honored with a nomination since the pandemic?
Do you want, like, that's hard for me to answer, right?
Okay.
Like, I can tell you why I think it is.
Well, sure.
But I don't know from a James Beard perspective, right? Like I'm not all of the committee.
Sure. So why don't you tell me your opinion of it then?
I think there's been some systemic service issues. I think a lot of our long-term restaurateurs and service industry individuals have gotten out of the business since the pandemic, and our restaurants are really suffering from it. I think that we have really great restaurants, but I don't know as we have a lot of... Dan Tully says that Richmond catches the trend like 6 or 7 years after the trend occurs. I'm not saying that we need to be trendy, but I don't know as we embrace some change as much as we could. And I think that that's hard on particularly the James Beard. You know, we've won it doesn't surprise me that we've won a American Classic award. I mean, and that particular restaurant hasn't changed ever, Sally Bell's, for individuals that know. I think that sometimes a little bit of change might be beneficial. And then lastly, again, I'm going to stress this. I think that the presence and resources of local research, informed media gives the leg up. Like, I just can't say it more. You need to read Eileen's stuff. You need to look at Justin Lowe's stuff. People need to read and support the local media that's doing doing all of the hard work for us here in our dining. I mean, like, it's local media, read them. That's like the best way for me to put it.
I got a couple more questions. I know.
Okay.
Taking the time out of your day as well, and I appreciate
I love talking to you.
There. No,
and,
you're sweet.
And I want to know how our sound is, people, because I feel like it sounds so good today.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. So for places like Sub Rosa or On over at Mekong, like they're still doing. They've been nominated in the past for bakeries and beer, right? And so they're still doing bakeries and beer at a high level. Like, why do you get nominated twice in a row and then stop? Like, not specifically those individuals, but just in general. Like, if you're doing it at a high level, like what happens at year 4? Do they just say, you've been nominated 3 times, that's enough, we're going to move on? Or is there something happening?
There could be a ton of things, Scott. I mean, it could be that the switch in 2021 from some individuals heading the committee to some other individuals asked for a different focus, or there just was a different focus. It could be that beer was no longer a big focus, and a lot of emerging restaurants are now wine or natural wine. So they want to you want to move with where people are eating. So it could be, I don't have one for Sub Rosa. I can't. They're still community focused. They're still, I imagine you'll see that come back.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. So open floor to you. What do you have? I've asked you some questions. You've given me great answers. Do you have anything else you want to just impart on our listeners about this article or the process or anything else you want to share?
So I feel like I'm going to say that there will be a part 2 to this, because I think this is a much larger conversation than just me and you and by extension, Justin Lowe, right? I feel like that having individuals, and we've mentioned them already here, but having individuals that are directly in the food industry, specifically media, like Eileen Mellon, and then I think that the individuals that were impacting food media in the 2010s, which he brings up quite a bit, like Carrie Pfeiffer, would be valuable resources in talking about where our future goes and what our past looks like from dining. So my feedback is I'm hoping that we can have these individuals. No, he said no.
Because the censor, Carrie's going to wear out my censor button.
We'll just let it ride. You just have to put a parental explicit little caption on the bottom saying, please don't let your kids listen.
And that's about 3 hours of my edit time. I just pay to play.
I really do think that I love that the conversation has started, because I feel like it is really worth talking about.
Right. Awesome. Cool. All right. I think we're good, Robey, for now. Hopefully I'll see you in person soon. Right?
Yeah, we got to do some snacks. Cool things on the horizon for us. I don't know when it's going to happen, but somebody tells me we're going to have a whole podcast studio.
Oh my, you're just breaking news left and right. Fortunately, this is an hour into the podcast and no one's listening anymore. But it's true. We're going to attempt some video later this summer, so we have to actually look the part.
I love it. What's that? Do I need to wear my hamburger costume?
Exactly. Your hamburger costume. Exactly right. Anything else we want to say before we wrap things up?
No, but I am interested in what people think about this. Just what the knowledge is on outside of how insular I am, and well, now you are. I would love people to send us some stuff, because I'm always interested in feedback.
One more time for those not paying attention before, at EatItVirginia on Instagram or at EatItVirginia@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.